I got all the boys here today, and we're gonna turn this backyard into this.
Good morning, everybody. It's Drew and Colby and Boley, and today we are starting a brand new project here in Englewood, New Jersey. We are going to be installing a super custom, one-of-a-kind fountainscape in this suburban backyard. Now we've got an open canvas here. We're gonna be completely transforming this space. First, we were doing a little bit of prep work, pulling up some plants where our basin's gonna go, and then making a path of plywood so our machines and materials can make it safely from the front to the back. We are going to be installing our basin with aqua blocks and vault right over here. We're gonna have a small waterfall trickling down from in this area, coming down this way and coming back into the basin here. And then the main waterfall, which is gonna split probably with two spillways, is gonna come and meander its way down here, really maximizing this space over there, and then all coming back down to the basin in front of us. Open patio off the back of the house, lots of vantage points, windows galore. This is her kitchen sink, this is her kitchen table, and then over here we have a huge picture or bay window, which is gonna be optimal viewing spot for this feature. So let's get to it. Magic of camera work. The hole's already dug. This is gonna be for our basin. This is gonna house 12 large aqua blocks, plus a vault, plus an extension. So we calculate that's gonna be just over or just about 400 gallons of water inside the system. And the reason we had to account for such a large basin was to factor in the water in motion. There's gonna be 2, if not 3 large pooling areas up in this area here. And then we've got another stream that starts over here, loops around and comes in the backside where Boley is. So we had to account and make sure that when these pumps turn on, pump the water up to the top, it's not gonna draw the water down so low to the point where the pumps would be sucking air. So we've got plenty of water in here. We're also gonna be hooking up an autofill. In addition, we're gonna be having the downspout from this small addition room kind of feeding in here, so whenever it does rain, it's just going to top off the system should it need it. It also has the backup of that autofill.
Okay, so we just finished rocking in the whole entire basin, and right now we're about to measure up and get the overlap liner in for our first stream. To do that, we made sure we had over a foot on our first basin liner so that we can pull off a successful overlap.
Successful.
So it doesn't leak.
No leaking.
No, we don't like leaking. And then we're going to, like I said, overlap the liner so that all the water runs into the basin and not behind it.
Okay, so we've got our stream and waterfall liner tucked in and overlapped into the basin. What we're doing here is just leveling off the spot. This is gonna be a nice big pooling area for that water to well up just before it falls into the bottom of the basin here. But what we're doing is just making sure it's nice and flat, and then we can flip our liner over and start dropping the rocks in there, and then using our waterfall foam, seal up the back edges here. It's gonna hold all of that water in that pooling area before it then comes over this last spillway. But getting it nice and flat, free of rocks, free of tree roots, anything sharp that could damage the liner is what these guys are working on here. And then we've got a nice change in grade going up to the next spillway. So we're gonna have some pretty dramatic falls coming out of the spillway up at the top there. So why don't you hang around, see what we do. Day 1 is complete. We'll be back tomorrow morning for day 2. Hang around. Woo! Good morning. We are here day 2 on this. Woo! All right, we were here. Day. I don't know what I'm doing. Whoa, all right, day 2. We are back on this fountainscape here. We are starting to set some boulders and frame rocks in the stream. Boley's got his first frame rock for one of the spillways picked out already. We pulled back the liner, leveled it all off. We are now getting ready to set a frame rock. Actually, this might be a spillway rock that he's picked here. I can tell by the flat top on it. But what we're gonna do, we've kind of outlined the shape of where our stream's gonna be. This way we can kind of line our rocks as we drop them in around there, and then keeping everything lower because we really don't want to obstruct the view of any one of the waterfalls from the house. So not a lot of big boulders in this construction, but we are going to use some just to mix it up and give that real depth to the look of this. So setting that first stone there is going to help us kind of figure out where we need to be with our height around the sides and how to frame it in to create that spillway there. So crucial part here, Boley's getting his level. He just wants to see if that's going to shed the water off the face of it and not let it kind of curl back where the water might want to hug the face of the rock. What I'm working on here is I'm connecting in a line so we can install a compact auto water fill line. And what this entails is tapping into the customer's irrigation line. It's all 1/2 inch PVC. They've got it run off and split to a couple of different heads over here. But there's only, I think, 3 or 4 heads on this zone. So there's gonna be plenty of pressure. I've just put in a T with a threaded coupler and then a little elbow here to connect to our 1/2 inch flexible poly pipe that's gonna run right over to the vault. Now the way that the autofill works, it's very similar to the float in your toilet bowl, at least older designs. So the valve is opened and closed by the level of the water. So as the water level drops down, it opens the valve. If the zone is turned on, it's going to continue to fill until this float reaches up and closes that valve. Now she runs her sprinklers multiple times per week. So if the system does call for extra water, it's gonna be topping it off as needed. At the same time, I've trenched a line from the back of the vault here so we can run an overflow, because we also tapped into that leader coming down on that gutter, and that is flowing into the system. So anytime it rains, it's gonna collect off of just this very small roof here and then add into the system. So if we get a heavy deluge of rain like we did last week, it's just gonna fill up and then come through a 2-inch pipe and just overflow out into a dry sump over in that garden. Now let's see what all these pipes look like inside the vault. So we've got one line, 2-inch line for the 4,000 to 7,000 pump. We have a second line for the 2,000 to 4,000 pump. This is the line connected to the irrigation. This is going to be on our autofill. And then this line here is our overflow. So this is pitched all the way down that way. Just a very slight pitch. I'm gonna actually have to bulkhead through the liner so it actually serves as an overflow. I will be connecting a check valve to each of these lines and then running hard pipe down to the pump and then gluing everything together so we've got a nice seal. But yeah, there's a lot going on inside this vault. 2 pumps is usually the max you can fit in here without getting things all jammed up, because you do want to be able to remove the check valve and pull the pump out without it getting all caught up on the other stuff that's in there. And did I forget to mention how god-awfully hot it is today? I swear I've lost 5 pounds just being here, just sweating it out. Look at these guys. It's true, folks. We love it. Day 2 is coming to a wrap. We got tons done, but still a lot more to do. So you guys just hang on tight and we'll see you then.
Take 17.
And action.
Thank you, Drew. You're just so kind. So right now, all of us were rocking in the...
Okay, it's probably the airplane that threw you off, right?
Yeah, it was the wind and the sun. Back up and let me...